As we move along, we also should specify that we are not doing testing every day now. This week we are run tests Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to run another batch tomorrow, and we are going to be publishing a calendar of activities in terms of when we are doing testing. We are only going to be doing testing on a specific day if we have any potential cluster or any patient that we have a high suspicion that the patient is potentially positive, then we're going to run a test on a specific day. So when you look at the persons on the investigation from the infographic yesterday, you had a total of 33 persons. The number today is more than likely going to be bigger, and so in the infographic reflected today, you're going to see a bigger number, and that's the only change you're going to see. What the persons on the investigation mean? It doesn't mean that these people are necessarily symptomatic persons or that they are linked to the previously documented cases. The reason why we're saying persons on the investigation is because the lab only lumps all the persons whose sample has arrived for testing at the central medical lab. The lab doesn't make the clinical differentiation of where these patients are coming from. So from the people that are on the investigation for right now, there is some diabetic patients, some hypertensive patients, some HIV patients that are having flu-like symptoms, some healthcare workers that develop symptoms, people who are crossing the border illegally. And in terms of numbers, because people are saying, well, if you're not finding any cases because you're not doing random testing, I'll give you some numbers in terms of Central Health Region, which is Belize City primarily. We have tested so far, out of this total number, 16 people, random, from BDF, Police and Immigration, 19 persons who work at banks. So these are frontline people who you would routinely expect them to be more exposed simply because of the amount of people that they are seeing routinely. In our list to do random testing, we have people from elderly homes, not only the persons who are being housed at the elderly homes, but the staff that works there. And again, it doesn't mean that the entire staff is going to be swamped. You're going to do a random check on them. We're looking at the possibility of testing randomly pregnant women as well, people from call centers randomly, people from the utility companies, water taxi and other transportation means such as people who are pilots and bus drivers. As we move along with testing, we are looking also at the possibility of doing what's called antibody testing. The people who have turned out to be positive for sure will need to undergo antibody testing to determine whether they have developed immunity. And we would be doing random antibody testing once the test has been approved as well in people in general to determine if there's cases that never showed any signs and symptoms but who were exposed and developed immunity, which can happen.